Hey, welcome to Good Times with Alex and Ryan. I hope you're prepared to have a good time because we are prepared to give a good time. Whoop, whoop. Okay, so my name's Ryan, and my handle's at RyanWSprig on any social media. Alex.
My name is Alex Vanover. You can follow me on Twitter at Vandollar15. You can follow me on YouTube at Alex Vanover, and you can follow me on Instagram at Alex Vanover15.
What up, what up? And don't forget to hit that subscribe, follow, or whatever it is on whatever you're watching and get that notification checked because we are all about good times. And if you want to have a good time, you definitely want to subscribe.
Ryan, you should, if you were ever single again, that's how you should ask a girl out.
What up? Got a number?
What's up, girl? You better go out with me and we're going to have a really good time because you don't want to not have a good time. So if you say no, you won't have a good time. So why would you do that to yourself, girl? That's basically what you sounded like. Why are you torturing yourself? Just say yes. What's the matter with you? Why am I so inadequate? Don't you want to have a good time? Will you just like me and love me, please?
I'm just speaking the truth. I'm speaking the truth, Alex. I don't lie, okay?
You don't lie. You are the real-life version of Pinocchio. Although your nose doesn't grow big, you just turn red. If you're lying, you turn a whole shade red. A whole other shade.
Yeah, I even do that on this channel when I get excited. It's like sometimes I'm watching, I'm like, whoa, I'm glowing.
You're glowing. Dude, you turn into different shades like it's a freaking Instagram filter.
Yes, exactly. I don't even need a filter. If I want to have an actual natural photo without touching any of it, I just get really embarrassed. You know? Perfect.
Okay. So, hey, what's today's episode about, Ryan?
It's about our hometown.
Where we grew up, baby. The Bay Area. Coos Bay, North Bend.
Most people think of San Fran when they think of the Bay Area. So we got to do a little education on the other Bay Area.
Oh, yeah, and Ryan, since this is a special event, man, I'm wearing my Bay Area North Bend All-Stars Babe Ruth shirt for this filming because
that's right.
It's twofold here, Ryan. It serves two purposes, and I'll tell you what. Number one, we're doing an episode about the Bay Area, and number two, I'm not so fat that I don't fit into it anymore. So that's a big deal. So we got two really swell things going on.
What? Hey, you know, if the audience doesn't know, Alex has been working his tail off, getting more fit, and he has shaved off like 50 pounds. He goes
54.
every day, hard at it. 54, excuse me. Those 4 extra pounds, baby. That's right. You know what?
Those.
He did. Earning them like, stars, on your kindergarten chart list. That's right.
Yeah. So and I didn't have to beg people to subscribe to my weight loss. All right, I just made it happen. I didn't ask anybody I didn't ask my weight loss to notify me or hit a subscription or any of that. Ryan,
are you mocking
did it
me?
Myself a little bit, yes.
Well, it's not
seriously
working.
Though, subscribe, please. I want please. Ryan, I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm on the same team with you, pal.
All right, so Bay Area. There's a Southern Oregon coast town called Coos Bay. We always say Coos Bay because it's like the only city that's called Coos Bay. But we actually lived in North Bend, which is connected to Coos Bay. Coos Bay is from the Coos Indians that lived in the area. And blah, blah, blah. Boring, boring, boring. Let's get on with the show.
Well, I was going to say they call it North Bend because my grandpa said it was the North Bend of the Coos Bay.
Exactly.
That's
the Coos
what
River.
I was told.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was told.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and one thing about Coos Bay, North Bend that I always thought was funny is you could drive on one side of Coos Bay, go through North Bend, and then end up back in Coos Bay on a totally different side of town.
Exactly. Yeah, you could.
Yeah, it was like back when they allowed gerrymandering because they wanted Marshfield High School to just dominate in sports. They're like,
go ahead. confusing. It used to be like 5 cities: Empire, Coos Bay, Charleston. Now it's like Coos Bay like gobbled them all up, and then it tried to gobble up North Bend, but North Bend was like, no, we're better, and it couldn't get it. It's still trying. It's still trying to eat North Bend up. Coos Bay is, but
Dude,
hasn't got there yet.
My grandpa was a longshoreman on the docks down there, and he had a shirt that said "Cooperate, yes; consolidate, never." Like people that are from North Bend do not want to consolidate with Coos Bay. It's just not going to happen. And another big problem with that is you'd have to pare down to like one fire department, one police department. So a lot of people would probably end up losing their jobs too, right?
I don't know exactly what would happen. It would probably be help with consistency, and then you could manage things better. But if North Bend has a better, say, school system, has a better facilities, why would they want to consolidate? Coos Bay has to be better to consolidate with North Bend for it to make sense. But they're not. So,
well,
let's tell you.
Ryan, what I heard was that Coos Bay had a lot of debt from previous business deals, and they have like a lot of buildings that are a lot older. And what they were looking for was a way to help out with the mistakes they had made in the past. And North Bend has been
that too.
Yeah, North Bend's been ran pretty well. And if you live down in that area, North Bend seems to me to be a cleaner area and a nicer place to kind of raise a family, at least in my opinion. And North Bend High School is second to none with facilities as far as like computers, sports. North Bend's kind of like the class act down there, especially lately. They've had a lot of really generous donations. Their football field has AstroTurf, and it has the biggest replay screen in the state, Ryan.
What?
They have a replay screen now. Like
wow.
you score a touchdown, you can watch yourself score a touchdown. They'll
Pretty
play
cool.
it back.
Pretty cool.
That is crazy, huh?
Yeah. Wow, in the state, man. Huh.
So
I was in Texas for 7 years. They have a stadium in the city right north of Dallas called McKinney, and this stadium was $50 million for high schoolers.
Okay.
And so they went and found out that the foundation was cracking.
For the $50 million stadium?
Yes. This stadium was giant. It's like oh my goodness. Like how do you have that much money?
Who paid for the stadium? Was it a donation or
something? No, it had to be donations. There's some very rich people over there.
Jerry Jones is like, all right, gonna go out down there, and as long as my grandson can play, I'm gonna give you a stadium. Now, if he can't play, he ain't getting the pay.
So about that, his grandson, Dallas surrounds a city of rich people. It's pretty much just like rich people wanting their own city, so they don't have to do Dallas stuff.
Seems reasonable.
Called Highland Park, and that's where his grandson plays. Oh, for Highland Park, it's like probably got to be one of the richest zip codes in the country.
More than 90210, Ryan? Is that what you're saying? More than Beverly Hills?
It's up there. It's got to be up there.
Well, are they going to have a show about high school kids that look like they're 35 also in Texas? Is that coming up?
Maybe. I don't think they have as much, that type of drama over there. They have drama, but
Ryan, are you not familiar with the 80s show Dallas?
That was filmed mostly in California, and they just came over to the ranch a couple of times to get the big picture.
Well, way to ruin the illusion of Dallas, Ryan. Way to go. Somebody get Larry Hagman on the phone.
No, you're right. That was a great show. Okay, point Alex. All right, fine.
As
you win
usual.
That one.
You're definitely winning the haircut department. Your hair is on point tonight, bud.
Woo!
You look like a young Owen Wilson. Look at you. Look how good you look. Except for your nose is as crooked as a friggin' politician's spine right now. Look at you. Look how good you look.
All right. You got some things to say about our hometown?
Yeah, I do.
I do. What's going on?
Well, I don't really have something to say. I have something to ask you. First of all, did you like growing up in North Bend? Did you like that area?
You
What did
know,
you like about it?
here's what I liked. That unfortunately my kids haven't experienced, but I have. I got to grow up all the way through school in the same town. So
Mhm.
like the kids that I hung out with, I knew all the way through, kindergarten all the way up to graduating high school, like you, right?
Yeah.
So that was really cool. Now that we're moving a lot, I see that. I see that was a blessing. Um, One thing, let's see. So I did like it. Now that I'm seeing other places, I see that there's not as much opportunity. I mean,
No,
it's not the
not at all.
best school. Like if you wanted opportunity, especially nowadays it's changing because of the internet. So like everybody has a chance. But back when we were growing up, the only way to have opportunity is to be in a big place like maybe Dallas or New York or some place that has a lot going on with a lot of people around, and then you have more of a chance to meet someone or to meet people. I mean, that's how Kevin Hart and a lot of them got their start. They went over to New York. Like he traveled from Philadelphia to New York all the time because that's where the money and the opportunity is, and you hustle over there. I mean, they have this saying like if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. But that's not to say it's like it. I mean, sometimes that's the only place you can make it because that's where all the people are. So,
I don't. I never ever looked at my hometown in the sense of trying to make it or trying to leave it or whatever. I
yeah,
always like what I what I really liked about that area was I liked that we had the same friends from grade school, kindergarten through up through high school. I liked that my family was there. Um, so I was close to my actual family. I had a lot of relatives that lived down there still. I liked that there was 4 seasons. I loved fall, summer, winter, and spring. It was pretty
okay.
mild,
Well,
so it was never too hot and it was
I'll have
never
to,
too cold.
I'll have to disagree with you on the 4 seasons because
Okay, go
it's a
ahead.
temperate zone. So I don't
Okay,
think we had 4 seasons. I think we had two. We had a
okay.
summer-ish with wind.
Educate me, chump.
We had summer-ish times with wind and pretty much every time it goes summer there and it's windy, I'm like, oh, it's baseball season. so like because that's whenever I played baseball. But you got that season, and then you get winter, which is like just rain and
And just dark and rain
dark
all the
and
time.
rain. Oh, that depressed me. But that was just very depressing for me. Like all the rain and dark and
Yeah.
overcast. But yeah, go ahead.
And
That was just a disagreement I
no,
have.
it's okay. Hey, and seasonal depression is real, man. If you don't get enough sun, you're gonna have problems because your body needs vitamin D. It's proven. And there's a lot of times you're not getting vitamin D in the Coos Bay North Bend area. So that definitely is a good point.
Well, there were people that moved over from like, well, of course, California. You know that Oregonians, there's only 40% of the Oregonians are born there. Like everybody else has moved there, mostly from California.
I didn't know the exact number, but I
Yeah.
know a lot of people are moving
So,
over here.
so they moved there. A lot of people moved there, and they're like, "Oh, I love the rain. I love it. I love the rain." And then like about
Give it a couple more months.
yeah, exactly. And then about a year later, like I'm moving. Can't stand the rain.
Yeah, Athena's out. See you
Yeah.
later. I'm out. No way,
So
man.
yeah.
You know, one thing I really didn't like about Coos Bay North Bend is if something happened that was like, you didn't want anyone else to know, or if something happened that was like kind of embarrassing, give it a couple days and the entire town knew. There's no hiding anything in that area. No way.
No.
Because it's like, oh, I went to school with such and such, dad's an orthodontist, or such and such dad's a
Yes.
doctor,
Yeah. Exactly.
right?
Right. Right. Yeah.
Everybody would
yeah.
know, or somebody got arrested and his dad's a cop, and he's gonna tell somebody, and then
Oh yeah. Exactly. That's all the time. I think that's just small towns in general.
Yeah, it was like Mayberry. It was like the Andy Griffith Show come to life, and we just lived it every day. I lived it for way too long. I was there till like I was 26 or 27. I definitely overstayed the expiration date on that town for sure.
Let's see. That was about as long as I was there. Like I went off to college for 4 years, and then came back. At 2002, I left for George Fox, and then came back and stayed for another 5 years, and then moved to Texas. So I was there for a while too.
I was there in North Bend, Coos Bay till about 27, 28. Moved up to Monmouth, moved north to live with Josh. Tried to get sober, tried to get my act together. Couldn't figure it out. Eventually got it figured out, but I stayed there way too long. It got to the point where it was just like a large dark cloud over my head. My mom had passed away. My grandpa had passed away. The house I grew up in was no longer even an option to visit because it was sold. I had no home base per se other than like the tiny apartment or a little house I was living in. I definitely needed to get out of that area because everywhere I looked was a bad choice I had made, and I would see it. I would like remember it. It was bad. So part of my success now is, part of my story is the fact that I got out of there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, sometimes that helps getting out, getting a new mindset and all that. I heard
Absolutely.
I saw somewhere on some social media that you were homeless for a while.
I wasn't. I wasn't homeless, but I did have. So I lived with Josh, and he got tired of my stuff, and he kicked me out of his house. And I was actually going to be in his wedding. I was the best man in his wedding, and he demoted me, and I deserved it. I deserved all of that. Okay, and I had nowhere to go, so I ended up sleeping underneath a tree across the street from the golf course that I worked at. And thank you for bringing that up because that's a really good story, and I'm very proud of it. And I hate you.
Sorry.
It happened, though. No,
it was
happened.
matching what you were talking about, and I didn't know your story. Or is it just one night, or was it?
It was one night. There was a lady who
your brother made a pretty brutal comment at that time.
I don't. Yeah,
he was trolling you.
Well, I probably deserved it. So what happened was I stayed that one night under the tree or whatever, and went and showered at the golf club because I work there. And I ran into a lady that I waited on, and she liked me, so she let me stay at her house for like a month until I got back on my feet, and then I got a house. So,
oh wow, huh?
Yeah, so I was extremely lucky and fortunate, but like all my bad decisions I made in my life led me to that moment. So in a weird way, I'm happy it happened because there's no way that I would be, working for, Fox, on the radio or be sober 5 years or have this podcast with you. There's a lot of things that really good came out of that. So it was a blessing. But when you're going through something like that, Ryan, it definitely doesn't feel like a blessing. It feels the complete opposite.
Well, that sounds pretty rough. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's you know what though? When they make the movie about my life, that scene's going to be in there. And, I picture The Rock playing me. So The Rock's going to be under that tree, doing some dumbbell curls. And he's going to be like, this life is really, gave me a real bad deal here. But I'm going to get up at 4:30 in the morning and grind my way back to success.
Hollywood Hogan's going to play your brother.
Well, you're a real loser, dude. Let me tell you something, brother. You've been living under a tree, dude. You better get your act together, dude. You'll never be all-American, brother. You're a really disappointing brother. As a brother, you really disappointed me, brother. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That was good. That was a good joke. I even knew that was good when I was saying it. Oh, man. Hey, since we're talking about Coos Bay, North Bend, what was your favorite restaurant down there? Like, where do you want to go when you, like, if you had a chance to go eat down there right now?
Where would I go? Well, let me start off by saying something a little unrelated, and then we'll get into my favorite restaurant. So
Well, hold on. Ryan, so you're taking this conversation into a different area. You sure you don't want to bring up something extremely personal and derogatory about me real quick for the audience before you go down this road again? Or
what do you think? Are you thinking I'm gonna go there? No.
is there anything else you want to embarrass the hell out of me about? Okay, go ahead. I'm teasing you, dude. I'm teasing you.
Okay, all right. I'm just trying to add to the conversation. Our audience wants to know you, buddy. And
I just pretended like I was Winnie the Pooh for the night. I was like living under Christopher Robin's willow tree.
This is part of your story.
Yep.
How we connect, okay?
Oh,
you don't just
gosh.
let it out. Let it...
Let's just say I wasn't under the tree long enough to get my mail delivered there. But I was there. But go ahead.
All right. So you remember this. So like after a good night of egging cars
and houses.
we go over, head in, and so there's this restaurant. It's changed names to Cozy Kitchen, but we used to go there often. It was called Little Richard's.
Yeah, Little Dick's.
Yes, we called it Little Dick's. And because there was only like one, at that time, it was only one restaurant open all night. So we went over there and ate some food, and then talked about a great night we had of tossing eggs.
We're eating eggs as we talk about how we toss eggs.
I remember going to Safeway and grabbing some eggs, and the cashier's looking at us like, yeah, I guess you're just getting a late night snack, huh?
You were like, you had a full carton of full pulp orange juice and a 24-pack of eggs.
Yes, I drank so much orange juice. It gave me gas,
you used
and it
to
was
just slam orange juice.
I don't know why. I'm like, oh, this is healthy. And I had to
so much sugar, much sugar in that.
Well, it wasn't the sugar added. It was like the natural stuff. So I would drink. It was like only orange juice, but I would drink the whole thing every night. Like, I know this is healthy.
Your bones get so strong from all the calcium that you keep chopping trees down with your hand.
Exactly. I was trying to be like OJ, the juice.
I don't think anybody wants to be like OJ now, right?
No, the body figure, like, wow, big.
Oh, okay. He was jacked back in the day, man.
Jacked,
OJ.
Yeah.
No wonder he didn't have a hard time getting ladies. OJ was handsome. OJ was a handsome, charismatic guy, man. I know we're talking about something completely off topic again, but
check our last episode.
OJ Simpson, like for people who haven't seen the previous episode, OJ Simpson ran for 2,000 yards in a 14-game season. He was a Hollywood actor, TV show star.
And I was on my way drinking that orange juice.
Yeah, and Ryan was drinking his OJ trying to be like OJ. This is pre-94 OJ, though. Go ahead, Ryan.
Okay, so we would do that. One thing about most restaurants in Coos Bay, North Bend, is what they'll do is whatever you want, you'll order it, but they'll give you like this cheap food and just pile it on. Like you get stacks of potatoes and stacks of like hash browns and biscuits and gravy. They get like 20 biscuits, dump on the gravy. That's just how the food is there. Like cheap, but tons of it.
They're like, the food is lousy, but you get a lot of it.
Exactly.
This food is disgusting, but you get a ton of it. So it's good.
It makes it good, because you get a lot. You get more bang for your buck.
And you also get a fully loaded option. You can have chives, bacon, sour cream, and loads of butter. And it's only 50 cents. And you can have it on literally anything in the restaurant. Because everything at Cozy Kitchen has a loaded option. Everything. Apple pie, freaking glass of orange juice, your water that you're drinking while you're at the table.
So I think my favorite was Coach House. I also like what was it, that Italian place?
Benetti's?
Benetti's, I like that too.
I got fired on my day off over the phone from Benetti's.
I wondered what happened, what you did. I was like, was it him or did he quit?
Dude, I got
Tell me
fired.
this.
I got fired over the phone on my day off from Benetti's. It was just like the movie Friday. I got fired on my day off. What happened was I was like the life of the party, and all the people that worked at Benetti's would hang out together after work. So the shift would get over, and we'd go have cocktails at the Coney station across the street. I would have nights where I'd make $100 in tips. I'd have it all spent by the time I got home.
Wow.
So that was a nightly basis. So I was good friends with the manager, Kevin. Well, Kevin had the keys to the walk-in, and he was allowed to get beer. He would just write it down on his slip, right? He would write it down on the slip like, hey, got a six-pack, Joe, take it out of my check. Well, Kevin and I started doing that all the time, and Joe got sick of that. So that was one thing that happened. So we would just go in and get beer and like leave IOUs, which is ridiculous.
Well, it came out of your check anyways, though, right?
Yeah, we weren't stealing it, but like he was just that's annoying. You don't want your employees doing that. We were doing it like 2 o'clock in the morning.
He could have said, just hey, I know we're gonna stop this.
Yeah, I know.
There must be no more to the story than you thought.
I was gonna get there. I was gonna say though, what happened? He never. Okay, this is what I think happened. I think he got tired of me coming in hungover. I think he got tired of me being a bad influence on all the other people I worked with because I was always wanting to go drink. That was like my life's ambition. And you probably couldn't hide it because I probably looked like I was still hungover from the night before. So everything about me was the party lifestyle, and I'm sure he was sick of it and he wanted to get rid of it. And I don't blame him. I just wish that he had laid me off in person because I don't respect somebody that does something like that. He should have just told me, right? He should have just told me in person.
Or maybe wrote a note on your check.
Yeah, wrote a note and left it in my check, like Grandpa Larry. We really love having you here. You're a hell of a kid. Why don't you just keep breaking your fingers through windows and jumping on nails? Obviously you're fired. But no.
What about you? What about your restaurant stories and?
What about my restaurant stories?
I want to hear yours. Yeah, you heard mine.
My favorite restaurant is obviously Gino's. 541-756-5000 if you want to call Gino's right now and get a pie or they're under new ownership also, by the way.
Okay. I saw that Twitter you put out that you hated Gino's and you're never going back.
Oh, well, I lied because it's exquisite. Again. They have new owners. I'm back, baby. I'm back. I'm reactivating myself. Alert the media. Gino's, I'm back. Okay? I'm breaking out the mug I bought. I got the red mug. I got everything. Gino's is delicious for pizza sandwiches. This is going to be a really weird one. I love the bowling alley's cheeseburgers and waffle fries. They have the best ranch ever, Ryan.
Well, you're all about that ranch, man.
Oh, Ryan,
wow.
It's cold and thick, dude. It's a game changer. I think I could dip anything in that ranch, man. That ranch is exquisite.
Is it homemade or how?
It's got to be. It's homemade. It's not. They make it at the bowling alley. They have to.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Dude, ranch, you can tell when ranch isn't homemade because it's warm and runny. I hate ranch like that. Like, you can take your Hidden Valley ranch and shove it where the sun don't shine. Take all that crap.
Hey, be careful with that. I like the Hidden Valley ranch. Okay?
What, do you eat it and like it because you like to punish yourself? I mean, what's going on here? Is that a form of palate training? Like, if I can eat this, I can eat anything. Training your mouth and your taste buds to enjoy crappy stuff.
Oh, okay. I tried the cheaper version. Don't like it. Tried Hidden Valley. I like Hidden Valley. I put sriracha in it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, we're going to have to stop for 2 seconds because my cat is trying to get in. Give me 1 second.
I don't know how we're going to do this for the actual podcast where Alex just stops to take a break so he can let his cat in. Sorry, listeners. We had to make sure.
And we're back!
Oh, yeah, you didn't hear anything I said. Good.
We're back! What, did you tell more listeners that I lived under a tree like I was David the Gnome?
David the Gnome. I used to watch like all of those.
So did I, man. If I could ever be in a situation where I could ride a fox, I would make that happen, I think. Put a saddle on that sucker and just go. So Ryan, I got another question about it. What was the absolute worst part of living in North Bend?
Let's see. Worst part. The rain, overcast. Oh,
Yeah, we talked about
depressing.
that earlier. It was terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I think the worst part for me was?
What?
Every time I would go out, I would bump into an ex-girlfriend. Grocery store. There's somebody I screwed over. Oh, going to laundromat. Oh, there's a girl I broke up with over the phone. I took a page out of Grandpa Larry's playbook there. I put it in a note, a breakup Dear John letter in a note. Oh, go down to frickin' 7-Eleven to get a big bite. Oh, the girl that works there is someone I dated. Oh, this girl hates me. Oh, this girl said she was pregnant. Blah, blah, blah. Everywhere I went, ex-girlfriend. They either hated me or they kind of hated me. I had to go. I had to get out of there. I had to make like a tree and leave.
Make like a tree and get out of here.
Yeah. Seriously, that was a big issue, man.
Yeah, meeting everyone. You don't run into that as much in Eugene, huh?
No, not at all. Not at all. Ever since I've been up here, you know what's crazy? If you meet me today, you're meeting me at my best version of myself. I am the best I've ever been.
You're pretty good in high school. I thought you were pretty good in high school, Alex.
What do you mean, as a person?
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was yes and no because I was a good person, but I was still flaky.
Oh, you were flaky. I didn't care.
But I'm not flaky anymore, though, dog.
Apparently not, man, because you're doing this exercise every day, and then you're doing podcasts and stuff. Yeah, we already talked about it, but my wife was like, "You really want to do a podcast with him? He's like even my wife knew. Like you were like
Diana's like he's like kind of a snowflake, right?"
I think snowflake has a different meaning than flake.
She's like, you know, Alex kind of like he's kind of like a box of Wheaties. He's kind of flaky, raisin bran, right?
Right. No longer though.
Hey. You know, it's my job just to change her mind. And each podcast we do that's successful, then, you know, if she's the only viewer, you know, I did my job correctly. Huh?
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Diana.
She's not here.
Yep. Okay, well, that's fine. Dave's not here, man. Hey, you got anything else on our town before we shut this sucker down?
You know, I don't. Maybe we should make a song. Dedicate it to.
I don't think so.
How about we just start singing? Just start doing a freestyle. You ready?
No, but hey, no, not at all. Hey, I just thought of one thing.
Let's go.
I just thought of one more thing before we wrap this episode up. I would, if I had a lot of money, I would like to someday own a house in North Bend, and that's the house that I grew up in. I think it's ridiculous that my family doesn't own. I think it's ridiculous that my family doesn't own that house. I have so many great memories of that house. Camping in the backyard when I was a little kid, my grandpa coming out to check on me, sneaking strawberries from my grandma's strawberry pot, you know, swinging on the swing set, bowling with a little bowling ball on the walkway, the sidewalk. Grandpa making me eggs on Saturday, watching Saturday morning cartoons, watching Dallas Cowboy football games together. You know, if I could somehow get that house, I will buy that house someday. I'm speaking it into existence. I may not live in it, but I'll rent it out. But that house is going to be mine. It definitely belongs in my family for sure.
Sounds like you had some good times.
I did have some good times. Good times at 1885 12th Street.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry you didn't get to hear the song. We'll get it sometime.
Hopefully none of you are homeless and have to live under a tree tonight. Hopefully you're not listening to our podcast, you know, on your phone while your battery's running out under a tree. So get it together, guys.
Yeah, make sure to subscribe, hit the follow button, get those notifications, and, you know, thank you. Appreciate it. And we'll catch you next time.
Mahalo.
Bye-bye.